Who is the best Avenger, you've no doubt wondered? Probably not, but with the Avengers Age of Ultron just around the corner, now's as good a time as any to try and figure this out. A couple of ground rules though. Firstly, to the disappointment of some, I'm just sticking to whom we've seen on film. If I went with the Avengers comic roster, this would be a 40-hour long video. Secondly, in judging this, I'm going to base it as if the characters are real and what it'd be like if you knew them personally. I guess if I was to sum up how I'm going to do this, the title of the video would be, who's the best Avenger to have as a friend and would least likely get you killed? That doesn't really work in a thumbnail though, does it? Alright, let's get into it. Bruce Banner, as a person, seems like a good guy to know. He has an outwardly even temperament, he'd help you do the science if you're all about the science, and if you're ever in danger, BAM! Giant green monster! If you're up against anyone from the schoolyard bully right up to an invading alien force, this is the guy you want at your side. However, he doesn't always have a handle on his powers, as proven time and time again. He's also understandably reclusive and withdrawn, meaning often he'd be hiding in some hut on the other side of the world whilst you sigh out the candles on your birthday cake alone. You can't really be blamed for that though, nor I guess can you be blamed for you being constantly under surveillance by military intelligence because they suspect you know where he is. Look, he does have humanity's best interests at heart, mostly. Okay, that's unfair. I said I'd stick to the movies, forget that. But still, Bruce Banner is unpredictable, potentially very dangerous, and he'd be constantly borrowing clothes that you'd never see again. Alright, this is fun. Who's next? This is an interesting one. If your agenda's the same as hers, fantastic. You're sitting pretty. A lot of the time though, her agenda will not have your best interests at heart. Sure, deep down, as proven in The Winter Soldier, she's a lovely person probably, but does anyone else get the feeling that she's a little bit more relaxed about civilian casualties than some of the other Avengers? For her, she's all about the mission. And unless that mission aligns with whatever your interests are, she's going to be downloading the secret contents of your hard drive in one room whilst you sigh out your birthday candles in another. Thor's great! He'd be like, would thou cometh with me to Asgard? Let's get messed up! Or at one point, he would have been like that. Now he's all in love and all about maturity and responsibility. Boo! But to be fair, those are good qualities in a person/alien god. Thor, though, has a proven tendency to disappear for months, sometimes years on end. Usually for good reason, but he could have at least sent someone a note to give to Jane Foster, the woman he loves most in the entire universe. Also, if you hang around with Thor on Earth, you'd have to be constantly explaining what things are. He'd be like, what is this Pinterest? And you'd be like, it doesn't matter, just nothing, okay? Just shut up. Also, and most importantly, when it comes down to it, he probably wouldn't kill Loki, and then at some point, Loki would probably kill you. This guy is just a mess of secrets and lies and ulterior motives, and he trusts maybe 3 people on the planet, one of which turned out to be a top-ranking Hydra agent. So do you really think he's gonna trust you as a friend? And also, one of the guys he already trusts, Captain America, he made the request to have his apartment bugged. He's a handy ally as far as, information and whatnot goes, but he's also a self-confessed manipulator. Then again, he might let you use that car machine gun if you ask nicely, so that's cool. No! Next! Alright, fine, I'll do this one quickly. I don't trust his judgment or methods. He shouldn't have let Loki get close enough to brainwash him, and in Thor, he certainly shouldn't have paused when reaching for a gun and then go for a bow and arrow. I know he's better represented in the comics, but no, not even close. And he wouldn't be there when you blow out your birthday candles because you wouldn't invite him. Tony Stark is the worst. He's selfish, doesn't think anyone is worthy of his time or attention. He's brash, impulsive, annoying. He's probably picked up something from one of the many women he's known. And even the people he likes, he gets killed. Yinsen, the guy who pretty much single-handedly turned his life around, was left in a cave dead. And what's more, he got Pepper Potts killed. Now luckily for him, she was injected with that extremis virus, so no harm done. But for all he knew, she was dead. I know what you're thinking though. Maybe he'd give you some sweet Iron Man armor. Probably not though. His best friend had to steal his. What makes you think he's just gonna give you one?
I'm gonna have to hang on to your suit for a minute, okay?
Not okay. Not okay with that.
wasn't the question.
He'd totally crash your birthday party, by the way, pulling all the attention away from you, and as you sigh out the candles on your birthday cake in your trashed apartment, he'd be having a panic attack and vomiting in the next room. Captain America is by far the best Avenger. He's like the nicest guy who's ever existed, who just happens to be able to run as fast as a car. He'd always be there for you, as he still is for the woman he met 60 years before, who now has Alzheimer's. To draw a comparison, Tony Stark is almost never there for you, and barely remembers anyone, and even if he does, he pretends not to. No, Steve Rogers does not have the intellect of some of his teammates, or the cunning, and his powers are simply the peak of human abilities, plus a shield. But still, this is the guy you want as a friend and at your side. Honest, brave, handsome, loyal so much as if you've been his friend at one point, he won't kill you even though he should. Not only would he attend your birthday party, he'd be the one to organize it. And if he didn't end up coming, you'd know he'd have an excellent reason why that you'd never have to second guess. Captain America is the best Avenger by far. I'm not wrong. Thanks everyone, and don't forget there's new videos here every Thursday and Sunday. And if you want, why not check out my podcast, The Weekly Planet, last Monday's episode of which covered Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and this week's episode looks at the best and worst Ninja Turtles movies and TV shows. Find that linked below or at the terrific comicbookmovie.com. But who do you think is the best Avenger and why? Because really, I'm not stupid enough to believe that everything I just said then is accurate at all. Leave your thoughts below via my Twitter and Facebook pages, both Ending and Mr. Sunday Movies, if you have anything that you'd like to say about that. Thanks everyone, take care.